Welcome to another podcast episode of a lovely observation of life, episode 5. And I've started this podcast, which I also have a video on if you want to see it, that I'm posting on Dimensions of Love in YouTube. If you want to see me, you can see me there. If you just want to hear my voice, then you can listen to this podcast. I never start these podcasts with topics or directions of how the conversation is supposed to go. Even if we in society want to have a structure, and the greatest YouTube videos are those videos with great lightings and a very beautiful video that will give you many views. I never started posting on YouTube for that reason. Actually, in my journey through awakening, I didn't even want to associate with anything technological until it was very clear that the opposite need each other to begin with. And there's no right or wrong. As soon as we step into a space of where we start to judge if something is right or wrong, what we prefer and not prefer, that is when we are in the mind and we start to judge. And it's very difficult to stay in a space, in an open space like that, especially when you're going through an awakening. So my purpose was to create a platform where it's not perfect. The miniature pictures are not perfect. There are no punchlines and attraction to the audience of wanting them to, or wanting me to have many viewers. It was just whatever came through in that moment. I wanted to be honest and authentic. And hold on a second. I'm recording this on my phone, so it is an expensive phone, so the camera is good, but there was a sound there, so I apologize. I had to just check. Getting back to the reason why I started the YouTube channel is to show the authentic side and the journey, because we usually see people, or the mainstream, the average human being gets to know these amazing people that have done tremendous of work. All of these, the highest performers in all the platforms on YouTube that have guests arrive to them, and there's so many things to learn. And I watch them all. I love it. It is, you learn so much and it's enjoyable. But in the spiritual sense, we are just consuming all of this information and we want it to be perfect. And we never look at the journey. And that's how Spirit called me into making these videos, because I have a frequency that is on the videos of the time where when people will awaken, which they will do in their own time, will find those videos and will resonate with them because it will be in their frequency. Everything is frequency. It is when we speak to one another, the same way here. You're not here because you found me or I found you. We're here together because our frequency resonates, our story and our journey where we're going is resonating, and my voice is resonating. And you can actually hear what I'm saying. When, if this was someone else and you're listening, maybe you've noticed, if you're listening to someone, you don't even know what they're talking about. You're probably questioning, what is this person even saying? I'm not even understanding nothing. And it's because we're in different frequency. So sometimes, as I've noticed in my daily life, I have to ask people, what are you actually trying to say? Because sometimes I can't even hear them when they speak. It's just a mumbling sound. So I'm not even perceiving what they're saying. And it might look like I'm stupid and I don't get it, but we're just in different frequencies. I can be that even with my children too, when they're trying to explain something, but I'm not understanding. I'm not on that frequency. I can't hear them. I cannot understand them. So I have to always use the framework of, what are you trying to say to me? And then from that space, try to understand what it was I was hearing. But I will not recommend anyone that's going through this journey to try to fit in, because it just becomes so painful when you're trying to fit in, because you can't fit in. If you're in this journey, you're probably most of the time alone, and you haven't found your group yet, and you're just in this half space of awkwardness, which is not really awkward, but it feels like that because it's nice being by yourself. At the same time, it's a feeling of, I need to belong somewhere too. There needs to be, you want to be supported because it's different. It's a difficult journey until you realize, going through these awakenings that are in different layers, is that you realize that you are always with spirit. That's how I've grown in this journey. And I don't even feel like my family is even my soul tribe. Like, I'm not meant to do things with them. I'm meant to do something else. I've always had this feeling that, why couldn't I have been an orphan? Why couldn't I have been alone? It would have been so much better, because I feel more burdened with everyone. And it's not that I wish them bad or anything like that. And I really want to share this personal, because it's important to be authentic here. And when we are standing in this space, we also have to open up on, maybe not very deep personal, because we're also in a platform, and you cannot just speak of everyone and everything, because it involves other people. So you have to respect them in that way, but more so of valuing and understanding that it is okay if you feel like that. If you feel like you're the black sheep in your family, it's nothing wrong. You're just there to transform the ancestral patterns of that family bloodline, or even the space to where you live. You might have come from a different country and you live in a different country now. It can be just as a shift of energy like that we're creating a safe space for one another. And when you're in a journey like this, it's very original and it's very personal. And at the end, there's not even a person there. It's just consciousness expressing itself fully. So what I wanted to do with Dimensions of Love is, yes, it is beautiful to learn, to create businesses, to grow, to expand, and wanting to achieve all of these things. Whatever achievement that one feels will satisfy one's need. At the end, it all comes to the realization that being joyful and being happy doesn't require good food, money, location, success. And what you ultimately leave after yourself, it doesn't have to be a well-known name. You can be unknown and still leave this earth with a great impact. And something that can never be taken away from you, is love. And when you stand in love, you also stand in authority. And I like to bring up this. I was reading this quote this morning from Celebrating Love with Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, The Art of Living, the founder. And as I was reading this part, it said that love and authority are total opposite values, yet they coexist. And when we demand authority, love resides. The most effective business leaders will not impose their authority. Your sincere servant has more authority over you than your boss. A baby has full authority of his mother. The greater you love, the subtler will be your authority. The subtler you become, the more authority you gain. So when I was reading this, it just resonated again to remind me to why I even made this podcast today. Just felt natural to understand that the world's energy is combining polarities and helping us to understand that both are needed, and we are going to go to the extremes. Because I'm an energy reader, I've read many energies of going to the extremes. So it goes to one direction into the other. And this is natural, because if we are constantly evolving, we are in this phase of understanding that polarity is something that is on Earth right now. It is relevant. And whether we are aware of it or not, it is the fact. And it will rock back and forth to the extremes until it stabilizes. So this is how we will see what will happen in the external world. So a reminder is always to stay with your spirit, with your soul, inside of yourself. And going through an awakening, you will go to the extremes. I mean, I went to the extremes when it was, when I became vegan at the same time frame from 2018. And so I was very extreme and conscious of what I was consuming, and this was not okay. But parts of myself and of this DNA body was not ready for that. So we sometimes need to pull back and be gentle to that. There are structures within our DNA, there are functions that the body has been accustomed to that finds it difficult to switch to something else, especially when it goes extreme like that. So the opposite was consuming a lot of sugar and sweets, and it just didn't feel balanced. The same way with the workouts, they would be very extreme, and I was tapping into the energy of the collective. And so it was reflecting on my life, because we can ask and we can create our reality. So I asked for the energies to show up in my reality so that I could understand it, because at some times I could understand everything perfectly clearly, and other times it will be a feeling of being completely stupid, not understanding nothing, just being, not even understanding what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a flower, but what is it? What is this? I have no idea. And just understanding and being humble and staying in that space of, I don't know. And it's okay. We don't have to constantly know. We don't have to trust that a dream is real. Just as the same way as we are lying in bed and we're safe, but we're dreaming of terror. And then we come back to our body. Do we truly know where we were, what happened? We don't know for sure. And that mystery, can we be okay with that? Can that be okay? And so this was something that was, it felt like in Dimensions of Love, that is what I wanted to show. I wanted to show people and let the audience follow that frequency to how an unfolding of the journey through awakening can actually look when you see it through the videos, through everything that is happening. And right now, recently, I've been having many technical difficulties. My lighting is not okay, and the computer shuts off, and there are many family issues that are very, very serious and sad that have occurred. And that's how life is. But at the same time, I am understanding that I'm consciousness. The more things happen in the external world, they don't affect me the same way. I can speak to a pattern of recognizing, saying, oh, that is awful, but truly inside, it feels strange, but there is no one to claim it, whatever is happening. It's just the stillness of letting everything happen and not being bothered by the external, because you're not judging things happening to be good or bad. So there's no use of saying, oh, this was great, oh, that was bad, because that is, again, staying in the ego. And the ego never wants to let go, even though that others may claim that the ego might surrender to the end. The ego doesn't want to surrender. And so there has to be a choice of letting it all go without actually forcing it or deciding that it should be like that. It becomes something organically. It just happens naturally. And it is a journey. So I want to take everyone with me on that journey. And in this podcast, I just want to share the frequency of being authentic and helping you all recognize that this journey is difficult and it's not perfect, but it is okay. It is okay. And that we don't have to suffer through what the mind tries to trick us with and tries to manipulate situation, because even when you meet people and they are in the ego and I will be kind to them, I can feel in their frequency that they get nervous. What is the purpose of her being nice? I'm just a loving person. It's in my nature. It's nothing that I'm doing to gain points or to look, God, favor me because I'm so good. No, it's just when you are in a loving place, you just love everything and you love them with different flavors. So I always said on Dimensions of Love, my channel, that your essence is your greatest blessings. And what I mean with that is that we have a different essence. We have a different smell to us. And everyone smells different. But every smell has something to offer. And so if we understand that, in my sense, is loving everything from that direction of understanding that we all have a flavor, we all have a smell to us, we all have that. And so I love everyone in a different way because everyone has a sweet honey to them, basically. And it comes naturally when you're in that state. It's nothing that you think about. But when you're in the ego and you can see a reflection to others, is that they suspect everything. Everything that you're doing has it's an agenda. And that's when you recognize, oh, this person is operating from an ego stand. And you know this also because in the journey, you have to also learn from where you're coming from and what everyone is mirroring to you. So you also learn, what is this mirroring back to me? What is here? What is present? What wants to be revealed at this moment? And so being gentle in this journey, and of course, if you want to see those videos, you can always look at them. And they're so different. Again, I'm not judging. I can have lipstick on and feel like this and be connected to the mainstream and everything that is happening. At the same time, I could be very spiritual where I don't have any makeup and I don't mind having armpits here. And, it's just all of these aspects are welcome. That is when you live in joy, when you can allow every aspect of yourself to be fully present without judging it, without judging the ugliness inside of you, without judging the thing that smells different, the thing that smells beautiful, that all of those flavors, all of that is a part of you, that there's nothing that's good or bad. It's just is. When you embrace all of these parts, that is when you are actually living, enjoying life fully. And everything comes naturally to you. The universe supports you. The universe gives you everything that you need. Some people, they strive for money and they just, I can't rest, I can't be at peace until I have all of this. And we're all of this in low frequency. But if you want everything in life, if you want support, first of all, you have to love yourself. That's the whole point of this channel. It's growing and understanding that you're unique and you're going to be pushed from many as you walk through your path to uniqueness. And not unique in the sense of where the ego is growing and you just have this spiritual super ego. Instead, no, you're unique in that sense of you're an aspect of God, which everyone holds within themselves. But you have been chosen because you've gone through this and you have understood it. And now you are evolving so that you can support others. And the same way before, I was hesitant to how can you maintain to have a spiritual input to the world of love and not let it be a business transaction of here's a transaction of energy or here's a transaction of a platform where you are doing things that you are supposed to get more views and how do you navigate all of that? And it always comes naturally. So I'm not trying to do more. I'm not forcing it when devices don't work. I'm just trying to make, I'm not putting out the videos in special dates. I just have this purpose of I'm supposed to do this and I don't know how it's unfolding. And I'm letting you all be in the journey to follow and to see how this can unfold. Because even if you don't understand it and you're curious or you just want to look at it because it looks crazy to you or others that are looking and they're resonating as if they have seen me and they know me and we're soul family. However it is for you when you're watching this, you're still resonating on some level and it is meant to be. So now you never know who can wake up in 5 years, 10 years and be further on more elevated than you. Because when I was asleep, none of this will even be in my radar of understanding. Like I would be vegan. That was not in my spectrum of life in itself, that it was even a possibility or even a thought. Like it was such a big difference of everything that it made me so humble in understanding that even the person that you're looking at is saying, this person will never be conscious. There's no way this person will be conscious. This person is so deeply asleep that they don't understand, even if there are egos that can view another person. Like you never know who consciousness, God, is choosing to blossom at the right time in the right place. Because again, everything is already predestined. Everything is already meant to be the way that it is. We only need to get ourselves out of the way because that's the only thing that creates the problem. most of the time, my ego has created the problems and kept me asleep and made many wrong turns and stayed in a situation where I shouldn't have been in for that long. But again, it is still an experience for the consciousness and a lesson. And if all of that brought me to be able to sit here with all of those unique experiences and to share this with you all, then it was still worth it. And to be able to share this from a space of love and still being strong, so you can still be loved and still be assertive and strong, it's a very beautiful place. I want to share something with you just here. As we're looking at this, my space, I have these roses here, but I have the David Icke book, The Trap, at my nightstand here. And I have this perfume. I'm not actually advertising any one of these, but I just want to show you the diversity. And I have this Billie Eilish perfume with this naked lady showing her boobs at my nightstand. But I also prefer to use oils for my body as a perfume. Essential oils, natural oils. But then there's this part also that is welcome here, where I enjoy something that's good. I enjoy something that is blend from chemicals in the laboratory, because it is all inclusive. It's all included. At the same time, I also enjoy this cookbook by Radha Devlukia Shetty that's called Joyful. Again, I'm not promoting anyone. I just want to show you the versatile aspect of the human, and that it is okay to have all of these aspects. And there's nothing wrong. And some people feel like, oh, but you can't have chemicals and claim to be spiritual or woke. That again are thoughts. That's again from the ego. If you just allow everything to be the way that it is, the way that it is expressing itself toward inside of you or in your energy field, you will understand that things that needs to fall away will naturally do so. When we force it, that is when we go to the extreme. And when we go to the extreme, we're actually not doing anything differently than being asleep. It doesn't create anything different. So I feel like it's been a while for doing these podcasts now. The gap is maybe 2 weeks or something, maybe 3. But I've been focusing on my children, and again, things have been I had to reset the whole computer and clear it out, and that also served its purpose. But these are things in life and that happened. It's the daily life that happened, and I want that also to be present in these videos that I make and in this podcast. I really want it to be transparent, that we understand that it's not about pushing, it's not about achieving. It's about having an organic approach where slow and steady will always be more sustainable. And it's all about growth and expansion and loving yourself. This is what a lovely observation of life is. It's just to observe and to love everything in its natural form without wanting it to change, without having any conditions. And that is the frequency that I want to share with all of you in my audience, that I love you all in different flavors, and thank you for even listening here and trying to, whatever it is that you're doing great. And just by listening and tuning in like this I find that we are creating something very beautiful, because it's not all about making it in life or being seen by everyone. The most important thing in life is to stand in your frequency and to change a society, your neighborhood, everyone, by standing as an example how a good person is, to be an example, to express yourself, that it's not perfect. And I'd rather be honest, truthful, and open than to wear a mask or be someone else to please others, because you'll never really become your authentic self by getting too attached to all roles. I mean, we play roles daily, but you have to know who you truly are. And when you know who you truly are is where your freedom begins. It's where pain ends. And pain is just something that happens to the body, but the soul is not affected of it. And when we understand this, when we are having these healthy non-attachments, is when it's enjoyable to be here. It becomes paradise. The world is paradise. And you're just, wow. I find myself saying, wow, these couple of days. And I say, wow, to things. Because I'm so amazed at the most simplest thing. It's just the way the technology is evolving and the way that we're just so amazing. Every being is so amazing. And when we come together in this space of acceptance of one another, it's just wow. It's quite remarkable. So this episode, I don't know what I'm supposed to call this one, but it feels we're speaking of the extremes and the polarities that really are complementary to one another, that it becomes just one, and understanding that it is all one. There's nothing good or bad. It's just everything is needed for the experience of evolving. And let this be a lovely observation of life. And please, if you have anything that you want to share in an observation of life, I would love to hear it. I appreciate you all. So thank you. And thank you for letting me share and receive this. It's just, I always say this, that it is just as a great of honor to stand here and to share this as it is. I'm hoping for you that that is receiving this. So thank you. And you are loved just the way you are. And you are okay. And everything is fine. And you are exactly where you need to be. And yes, sometimes we stay too long in this space, but that too becomes a lesson that we learn. Maybe we have to be in that place for a longer time so that the lesson will really sink in. But there's truly no right or wrong in any situation. So if we can let it be like that, that would be great for us all in the whole universe. So thank you for joining and tuning in to yet another episode of this observation of life. And I hope to see you in the next one. As always, have a wonderful day. And I'm always sending love your way. Bye.